Listen, when we are saying that the robber is hitman, I messed it up? No, alright, that's great. Like, we are serious about robbing. It's very, very outrageous. Oh man, I love it so much. And this deck is absolute fire. I tell you, I'm having so much fun with it. Oh man, even more big scores being doubled. And we draw fork. Oh man. Oh man. This is what this deck is doing, you know? Hello everyone, it's Sloth here, and guys, I'll be honest, this deck absolutely blew my expectations out of the water. It feels amazing, it's extremely powerful, and it seems to be beating both aggro and control decks, and it's also super satisfying with all the doubling from Chandra. So I just want you to see the game, so have fun guys, enjoy. If you aren't subscribed, don't miss out on decks like this, because you can be the first. Alright, have fun and enjoy. Alright, our opponent goes first. So we are a little bit behind. However, we have some nice draws. We have very good mana base. Do I need this? Honestly, it's not the worst. I'll take it just because we probably want to go to 5 mana. Robbery won't be probably very relevant because we will try to survive against, you know what, Gleeful Demolition. Go. Very, very good at magic. Oh, he's not very good at magic. Only 2 1-drops? That's crazy. So we could go with Mirrex, but let's be honest, Takenuma won't be used as a thing. Alright, which one we get rid of? We probably want to get rid of Inspector, just because it can convoke white mana. It's not a big difference, but you know, like, it's not a difference nearly at all, so let's go for the one that can mess them theoretically. Another Epicure. Just more damage to our face. Man, he never attacked and we are already at 20 after live gaming. Alright, they didn't go... That's such a greedy play. This is insanely good card. But it's still not fast enough for them. Alright, that's it. They can convoke right now. Honestly, this is the play, because I think they have Knight of Chaos, so they wanted to play this and use it to convoke, because you drop all the 1-drops basically, because they're basically free. But now, he has no way of casting Knight of Chaos, and it costs him full turn. I really think that was the case, man. I really do. I mean, let's go with Mirrex, cause why not? We have enough court mana. Man, the mana base for this one is so smooth. I think we might cast the Robbery. Drawing cards, sure. Just to get some small card advantage, but we'll see. Alright, so if he has Knight of Chaos, he should cast it now. Let's see. I think he will cast it if he can. See? He had this play last turn, I think. Wait for it. He's touching Epicures. He's touching the vampires. For a very long time. Surprisingly long time. Like, he's not getting bored of it. It took 15 years, but he finally did it. See, he had this play for the last turn, so we would already be attacked by Knight of Chaos, and he would have better quality cards. So, and now we have burned down the house and Deadly Cover-Up. So I'm really happy with, you know, our gameplay. We really shut him down. Alright. I really think this is a robbery. Like, we should draw naturally something. And I will be sweeping for a lot of turns, so even if I hit, you know, 2 land drops, it still will be useful for Virtue or something. Our opponent has a blood token. It can take forever for this super hard decision that is absolutely not affected by our play ever. We didn't... What? This is interesting. We might use it for the artifact later. We Deadly Cover-Up or we burn down the house. I don't think we need double burn down the house. So let's go for this one first. Because that means he has absolutely nothing in the board. Still, he might go land, 1-drop, 1-drop, recruiter, and that will be probably like 7 damage out of nowhere, but it's absolute best high roll and we beat it even then. I'm waiting with burn down the house first, just because I want to Deadly Cover-Up and have the option to, you know, evidence Because I might just name Knight Errant of Chaos or the Recruiter, one of the two. Those are extremely key cards. But we'll see, we'll see. Evangelist. Thankfully we're at 16, so we have more time than normally. However, so this is extremely good setup for the future. We didn't hit a land even after our, you know, robbery play, which is unfortunate. It is unfortunate. There's no Recruiter, so in the graveyard, so we cannot, you know, remove it. I could Brotherhood send an Inspector, but I don't really like this play. I don't think it's great. I think it's way better to create this, because this is insanely messy for him. And I will keep them to defend. Also, when they finally die, they still deal 3 damage, so it might help us, you know, with Brotherhood's End or Deadly Cover-Up. Well, not Deadly Cover-Up, but Brotherhood's End. I don't really think he will cast Knight of Chaos, and that's probably the only creature with higher toughness, but, you know, he has War Leader's Call. Like, sometimes things like this happen. But I probably won't on this game. So, what is the plan? The plan is to try to hit the 6th land, because we missed it, and then go for Chandra. Like, you know, I don't mind thinking, because that's the whole point of the, you know, gameplay. But if someone does literally nothing for first half a minute, it feels like he's just AFK. And when you play aggro, usually you go AFK. Alright. So this one is interesting. This one is really interesting. We can go with the Chandra, and we can kinda protect her, right? I can play her +1. I'm not sure how aggressive he can go. Sorry, I need to think about this one, because we actually have so many options. I could also play Chandra +2 and play Novice Inspector, have 4 creatures to block, and a lot of loyalty. Listen, I'm going with this plan. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. And for this play we need very specific mana. It has to be 1 green and 1 white. It cannot be done otherwise. So let's go with green mana on the Novice Inspector. It's crucial. If you took double black mana, you would make exactly the same play, and that would be very different. So I think we go for the artifact, right? No reason not to, but at the same time, well, then they just use it. They are going to use it anyway. So we don't need the second mana. So we have 2 blockers and 7 loyalty on Chandra. That is a big problem. And because we have Deadly Cover-Up, this doesn't deal damage to a Planeswalker, but, you know, with 7 loyalty we can even double it. That's interesting, because the first one resolves, kills the Evangelist, and then the second one resolves and kills the Bat. So we actually fully sweep then. Also, you have the Devils that deal more damage. Man, this guy always seems to be thinking for a very long time at the start of the turn, but you know what, the situation is messy. For this turn, like, it actually makes sense to think a lot, just because he probably dies if Chandra stays on the battlefield. And I am pretty sure she will. Like, that's why we have 4 creatures. I don't think there's a lot of decisions, really. Like, he just needs to play everything and swing. And that's it. And that's kinda what he did. Face! Of course it's face. Why wouldn't you go face, right? Oh boy. I think we go like this. So it's 5 damage. Like, did he really thought it out at all? I think he just gave up, and he just went with, well, I'm just swinging with everything. Alright, so 1, 2, and we are not going for bad because we have Chandra. And I mean Deadly Cover-Up, so I don't think it makes a huge difference, because we probably have to play it anyway, right? He is fully tapped. Alright, I think we go with this. We can burn a few cards, and we see what we get. Oh boy, those are some really good cards until end of the next turn, right? Alright, so we are casting those big scores. I mean, I could double cast it because it's basically free right now. Listen, I don't need Deadly Cover-Up being doubled. And we draw Fork. Oh man. Oh man. This is what this deck is doing, you know? And we could actually ignore everything and just go for a huge march. And I don't think they can do anything about it. You know what? It's actually safer that way. Right? It's just better all around. Yeah, that's it. I could Duress, but it's not worth 1 point of mana, I think. Man, we are killing basically everything and we are life gaining 10. Man, that's why I love Black Marches so hard. Like, normally you would be in some trouble, but with Celestus and March you can absolutely recover everything. So our opponent is actually surprised what's going on. Alright, perfect. Let's see if he wants to go to combat phase. And he was trying to check our cards to, try to understand what can happen. But he doesn't see Black March in the graveyard, so he cannot really predict this play. Alright, so we are going to the combat phase. Let's go for 5, because I don't really care about his... Oh my god. Oh man, I can even go harder. Right, so 5. Duress. I like the robber. Let's go only for 7. You know, a small march for us. And we'll burn all the treasures. Yeah. I'm not sure if that won't be 0. Alright, I was scared for a second, but we're going with it. So, that will be 16 for us, and the problem with this deck, they don't have instant removal, except sometimes Get Lost, but let's be honest, they would cast Get Lost if they had it. So they only have Case, and that's Sorcery Speed. And they still didn't learn anything, they just full swing every single turn. And you know what? I don't even mind it. This is still better. I know double, ramping into double robber would be absolutely epic, but we are going with this play. We are going with this play. And let's go for 3. 3 is actually the perfect number. What's the auto-tapper? Perfect. Because we will draw a natural land from him, and that means double Volcanic Spite. And that's enough to prevent any weird plays that he might do. And you know, the value is already pretty decent. Let's get a cool land for the turn, and we say go. And if he does nothing, we can even draw a card here. Resolute Reinforcements. He's going for it. He believes. Oh, we also have Resolute Reinforcement. That's great. I mean, theoretically, he can make another Resolute Reinforcements or Gleeful Demolition into Recruiter. Like, he's really trying, guys. And we need to commend him. He's actually really trying. Full swing every turn until something happens. Unfortunately, it won't work on this game. Maybe on the next one. I don't think it matters. Those are colorless. This was white for Convoking, so it's a little bit better to keep those. Alright, sure. Sure. We can Deadly Cover Up, which is actually really nice. Do we want to double something? Not really, not really. We just play a mountain here, naturally. We want the maximum mana. I will go with Deadly Cover Up. And we will evidence probably the Recruiter, right? Let's go for this one and this one. It's either Recruiter or Frontliner, I'm not sure. I mean, we can do both. Oh, that's... and you know what? I will actually give him... If he had Frontliners in the deck, I would leave them. Because I don't mind him drawing it, I just don't want one in the graveyard. And Recruiter. I heard it's a good card in your deck. Knight of Chaos is great, but they need a board for it. And right now they need at least 2 perfect draws to get even 1 drop potential. And that also means... yeah, like, I'm just having fun, man, you can stay. Alright, so as you can see, we can absolutely destroy Boros super hard, man. We didn't even have our perfect draw, because Brotherhood's end at turn 3 is absolutely devastating to them. Alright guys, this will be very interesting. Like, this hand has a lot of potential, but I'm not sure if it will work. Man, we can just go... There is... man, so... oh man, this is so hard. We can go 8... sorry, I need to think. This is actually a huge decision, because we need to make 3-turn plan for now. We can go Duress into Go for the Throat with those perfectly, but then we cannot cast Avarice. If we miss Duress on this turn, we can cast this and set up the rest of the mana base. And this is a sweeper. I don't know what I'm against. It's Jace, so you know what it usually means. Man, since some time, and maybe they realized that Jace is too obvious. So this is actually really decent for us. I want to go for Avarice, and I want to get rid of all the counter spells they have. March. Alright, so Lockdown is not relevant at all. March is decent against Celestus. I think we have to fight against the Emperors. They will be annoying. One will be pretty easy to answer, especially if we hit Brotherhood's end. I mean, we want Avarice, right? Just please, don't tell me you drew a counter spell. That's the only counterplay to my play. Alright, that's huge. Man, and against Control, Avarice is insane. Like, man, man, it's like quick study, but it draws one extra card. What are you doing, you monster? Oh, man. That's kinda smart, because if he did it in any other way... Wait. I can still do it. I can cast Big Score right now. Man, it was close. He did it nicely, but we still can punish it. Oh boy, thank you, my friend. Absolutely thank you. That's a huge deal. They accelerated us by a full turn, and also I will keep Deadly Cover Up, like it's meaningful card. Alright, only one land, so we might miss it later, and we want to make sure that the card advantage we got, mana advantage we got is still here, so I'm not burning the treasures. This will be kinda hard. Their deck generally should be heavily favored against ours, but we have our tricks, you know? Extremely good draw, like no joke, this was huge. I need, you know, this kind of stuff. So if they play Emperor, do we want to steal 5 cards? Or we go even higher and go another big score? Okay, I like it. Especially that with every big score, we also can Volcanic Spite. Alright, my friend. So what is the play? Show me. Alright, and now we are going with ours. To be absolutely honest, the only downside is that my draw is so cool, I don't know what to discard. And this deck is absolute fire, I tell you, I'm having so much fun with it. Oh man, even more big scores. He might go for the lockdown, so that's something we need to keep in mind.
Guards, to me.
But it costs a bit. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he will go with the lockdown. So let's go for the spite. Just to kill. So then he kills 3 tokens and 1 token of his own. So it's actually a little bit different then. Deadly Cover Up. Like it's a huge card during the game. With Avarice, I should be fine. Alright. Let's see if against 3 treasures, if he wants to use the lockdown. We are not using Go for the Throat. We will use it if he decides not to lockdown. He does. Well, no, not for this. Oh man. I want my Duress. Oh man. I love this game so much. It's so perfect. Like, we can go Chandra, we can go Robbery, Avarice, big scores. Only the sky is the limit here. But I need to play it right, because their deck has higher value overall, or they have better tools against Control. They have a bit worse against, aggro decks and all this stuff. But we need to work through it, basically. Sorry, bro. I think we might just cast a huge Robbery this turn. I don't think Avarice is needed here, especially that Robbery is basically an alternate hand that you get. So, now, if they do nothing, that will be a little bit awkward. They are not doing anything. I think we want force some counter spell action. The Samurai is not a big deal. Let's see, this is a good counter spell target if they have a hard counter spell. Alright, we're ramping. Moment they cast Lockdown, they only have 3 mana or 4. Celestus is a nice draw, man. So, if I knew for 100% they have no counterspell, I would just go Chandra and go absolutely crazy and win the game. But if they have a hard counter spell, that puts me super behind. This is my best card. They need an actual hard counter spell, but they really play like they have one, right? So maybe we just go Celestus because it gives us even more mana. They can use the White March at the end step, but that means we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So robbery for 7. I mean 7 new cards. That's a lot. I could play Mirrex, but I don't want to re-go this road. They didn't play it, and I think they drew a land, so I think they have exactly the same cards as the last turn, which is great for us. Alright, here it is. Alright, we will use some serious rainbow mana because we really need it for this play. And as a Azorius player, I still need to take blue, just for the sake of it. And now we can make our extremely colorful play. Alright, see, they killed their own samurai. They wanted to bait us into doing it, and that's fun because if they pass this turn, they already attacked, you know, in the combat phase, so they cannot just switch into the second main phase. They actually need to finish their turn to pass this mana. Alright, 4 mana. 4 mana. If we can go with big score, we need to discard probably Deadly Cover-Up. We can also go Deadly... Outrageous Robbery. If they counter it, then we go Chandra and go all in. Yeah, I think that's the play. So 4. We can go either for 4 or for 7, risking no more lies. That's a hard one. I'm a little bit risking it, but I think that's the play. I think that's the play. I think if anything he has 3 steps ahead, but I'm not sure. Oh man, of course they drew it. Alright, good magic from our opponent. And that means if he has another one, he can counter the Chandra. Listen, there is no way he has another one. Let's take this mana. No way he has double no more lies, right? From the... Okay, that's a negate. You know what? It hurts, but it's... Man, that was good for him. He defeated our 2 best plays, but don't worry, we have more. We have more, and he has only top decks right now. I will actually take the card, because if I draw the right one, it's insanely good. And we drew it. Alright, our opponent wants to play hard. We can do it as well. And how many robbers we have? We have a lot of robbers, so we actually just go for 7. Because we know he has no counter spells. And even now, he cannot draw it, or even he cannot draw it now. Yep, that's how we roll. Man, this was amazing. Like, we actually completely crushed Rakdos Control with how much more value we had than them. Like, we crushed them at every point, especially if they countered the big scores, they wouldn't be able to counter the rest of the plays. And when they passed big scores, suddenly they are so behind on mana, it's crazy. Alright, we are going fast. We are fast and furious. Like an aggro player. I'll take it because our opponent has a face of an aggro player. So let's see it. I don't need the spite because I'm on the play. Duress is nice. It still can be Azorius, but even if it isn't, we might still hit something. Alright, it actually feels like a white control. Let's pass the turn. We will definitely not cast March to it. And now we can actually go Celestus into Duress, which is really nice, because that means we are using our mana perfectly at every stage. Alright, Wedding Announcement is probably the annoying one. Chandra is a little bit easier to answer. Especially that we don't plan to killing Farmhand very soon, so we can get the value. We can actually tank the damage and just go and burn down the house and kill everything when this flips. So I'm kinda happy with it. And they can still... Is this... when you do a return? Alright, so the permanent has to be low value. It's not about getting into the battlefield, they just cannot get it back. And our opponent has pretty low value for, for his hand. I could cast Burn Down the House to pressure him, but it doesn't make much sense, right? So we just cycle. We probably can switch one of the cards. I still want the mana. I don't think we need to go for the throat. So our opponent already knows that we either don't fear a Ganja at all, or we are just not going long term with this play. Because we know that there will be target for Go for the Throat, and it will be a great target. Maybe we just go with the Might. Like, why not? That will force him to defend, so we actually defend even more. The draw is not great so far, but we will get there, don't you worry. We will get there. We will see, we'll see. Alright, he can get some value, but he doesn't have the artifact, so those lands aren't very good. He will get a lot of mana with those farm hands. Yep, and now only one attacks. Wedding announcement. Alright, we need to time it right then. Alright, alright, that will be a little bit of a problem. Let's get the Mirrex going. I could kill one of the creatures. And cycle. Okay, this is a very nice draw. This is a really nice draw. You know what, let's go for the tutor, because they cannot really threaten us, and we are absolutely fine with it. Let's go with Chandra, right? Big score is great, robbery. Or maybe we just keep getting avarices. This is the best value play, you know? Like, this is just the best play. We could also kill one of the creatures. We don't really have anything to cycle. Let's go for the farmhand. And now, if he blocks, he won't have two creatures to draw a card, and I'm pretty sure he wants to draw a card really bad. So he will probably let it through. Yep. See? You can pressure them. And because we doubles, I did this play mostly to cycle a card with Celestus. A land. You know what, I don't think we need spot removal like this. It's a great card, but I want to make sure that I keep playing land every single turn, because my value is basically infinite at this point. Only mana, like if I had 100 mana, I would just literally play my whole deck. So, you know, like we are just starved for tempo, basically. Demolition field, that's nice. Like, we don't care about Mirrex at all. Let's see the card. I actually will take the untapped land. It's one extra mana that we get. I mean, this is the turn, right? They will block with the Architect. Let's go. Let's see what happens. I think he will block with one, and I'm not sure if he will block with the second one. Alright, I didn't expect a tap. A Ganja, that's so good, man. We got a free card from him. That's great. And the Architect block. Like, we're not playing white, so a Ganja isn't a factor, really. It's also funny because now Brotherhood end would kill everything, because this has 3 toughness. A little, you know, nice trick. And I mean, we clear everything. We still have 3 mana, so I could go Avarice and draw even more cards. Which honestly seems like a very cool idea. We don't tutor, but with big scores all we need is just more cards. Man, with Avarice you can outvalue literally everything. It's fine, like I don't need Mirrex to win this game. We take action. It also makes our draws a little bit better, just because we have less basics in the deck. You know, it's not a big difference, but it's still there. See? And we finally, naturally drew Chandra. We take... yeah, we have to Duress before Chandra, right? I need all of those cards. I'm sorry, land. I'm sorry, basic land. This was also great land, because if Chandra dies without being exiled, like, we actually can, you know, get good value. Man, I really like my hand, but there is a chance I draw a spot removal, which is better than burn down the house, because it's more efficient mana-wise. Let's go for this. We check the hand fully. Man, we are crushing this guy super hard. Like, it won't be close. It won't be close at all. Oh, man. I cannot go for the play I want, so double big score, but it's fine. We go for Guru mana because it's super important here. That was a bad play. It's fine. I wanted to go with the Spite, but I realized midway that I have Virtue. And what happened? Why don't we have Exile? Because I like the copy resolved first, and the copy didn't have the second sight attached, and the main real card actually whiffed. Some good gameplay on our part, but don't you worry. Like with big scores, we can just absolutely go crazy, unless he draws from the top. All right, but to be fair, he really tried for it. Drawing 1 and 3 cards is a little bit well, and he is good at Magic. He had literally 0 answers and he just drew 2 of them in a row. But that's fine. We don't mind it. I want Mirrex. I don't think we have any way to get rid of this, so Chandra is out. We'll see what he plays. Like, we can play literally everything at the end step. I don't really have anything to cycle. That's my problem. My draw is a little bit too good here. Let's see what he has. If he play, usually they play White Emperor, the 6 mana one. Man, I literally don't have bad cards. I'm taking the damage. They might draw a card for both of us. A Ganja, sure. This could be a very cool game, man. I really like this deck. It's not very popular, but I really like it. And that's a 4/4. Let's go for 7. I'm sure that we'll draw something before a Ganja flips, so I'm fine with it. And it's 6 mana, so they cannot get it back, so we don't really change anything. Alright, that is the card that I can cycle. That's why I waited for the draw. If it's a good draw, I just play it. If that's a bad draw, you know, it's kind of the same. Listen, I really think we need a lot of mana here. Yeah, that should be good. And whatever we draw, like this is the same case. If that's a great card, alright, I'll take it. And then we will decide, okay, my deck is a little bit stronger, so I will just kill it. My cards, I don't need more cards than I have right now. Like, this is all the value from the whole deck I need. So it actually favors him a little bit. He cannot get back Laurent from the graveyard. It's just more lands. It really hurt that Chandra, like if he stayed, if he didn't top the cosification, we'll be already burning through like half of our deck and robbery for, you know, 15 by this time. But it's fine. We still have our Celestus, we have the next one. And here's Aya. Alright, card I didn't see for a long time. But it's a great card. Alright, this is definitely a fodder for this card. I think we go for this. Because I really want the second Chandra. Because I'm pretty sure he won't top deck again, right? There's no way he's top decking again. And already, also we are getting the extra cards, so most of the time you have the answer anyway. Alright, if I play Chandra, I can still double big score. And she kinda survives against Aya. You know what? I'm taking this. This is so good. This is so good. And if we draw removal, and 1 green mana, right? And let's go on Celestus. So we are drawing 4 cards, because this will get copied, and we get 4 mana, so every removal we draw can be cast at this, so we can even save the loyalty with a good draw. Unfortunately we won't get it probably, but here are the robberies. We just need her to survive. We play land, we go insane robbery, and they are digging again. They know they are in some troubles. Alright, let's see it. I don't think white has a way to amplify this damage really. Unless, well, the Emperor is one, right? They definitely play Emperors. Alright, they are still digging. They want more. They need the value. I would prefer to have Chandra on higher loyalty, but you know, we'll see. 6 damage, not 7. And this is magic, like I'm having so much fun right now. A land and another restoration. And this is a little bit of a problem for our opponent, because the reason this deck is not popular is Jace. Because you can absolutely mill them super hard. Oh man, we can kill everything as well. Alright, how much do we have? 5? 10, 11, 12, and 6, 18. That's man, I'm milling this guy on the next turn. This is what I was saying, and we need 1 green mana for this play, right? And we go 16. Listen, when we are saying that the robber is hitman, I messed it up? No, alright, that's great. And like we are serious about robbing. It's very, very outrageous. Oh man, I love it so much. Oh, it's a cool deck you've got there. It's a really cool... Oh, I appreciate it, my friend. I appreciate it. He was kind enough to accelerate the animation. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was really fun. Alright, I have genuine intention of making this outro consistent and short, informative. Let's see how it works. I'll be honest, like the Rakdos Control was something I had on my mind, but it absolutely got over my expectations. It feels great with Avarice, Big Score, Chandra, Robbery, and Celestus. You actually have so much value, man, that you can just challenge value decks like Rakdos Control fully. With Robbery, you don't need Jace because it kinda does the same thing, and normally Jace just mills so many more cards, right? Because casting this for 8 is already insane, and you will probably win anyway because you are stealing cards. It's not just about milling. But with this deck and Chandra, don't forget Chandra double ramps you, Big Score double ramps you, Celestus only ramps you, and you actually can have so much mana with all of those effects for doubling. And the treasures are so great to double ramp something that gets doubled. You basically get like 4 treasure tokens in a way, and you can feel it. Like we were milling for 32 cards, and we weren't really into like super late game. It was just a normal play for us. So this deck can absolutely mirror your opponent, and don't forget the copied card is still another target. So if they want to counterspell, they need 2 separate counterspells. That's no joke. And yeah, this deck can absolutely get them off guard, especially this is an instant, so you try to sneak it moment they tap, because they think that you aren't Azorius, so you don't have counterplay to, their Cardo, memory, there's this kind of stuff. I mean, you can absolutely punish them. With Avarice, your value kinda is infinite, and remember, the greediest play you can ever make with this card is search for another Avarice while also drawing 2 extra cards. This creates a chain of value like Cruelty of Geeks that just doesn't end. You can just keep getting it. The only downside, of course, is the mana cost and the life, but against control it doesn't really matter. You don't care about those things. So yeah, for early game, oh, and by the way, Duress seems like a small thing, but don't forget you can double it with Chandra. Man, imagine opening your turn with double Duress just to check what's up. You have full mana, they didn't even counter anything, and they're already completely butchered with their hand, and you are just getting started. And you can play the Robbery if you want to double it still after doubling Duress. You can just cast it at the upkeep. That means they won't get any new card because you know exactly what they have in the card in the hand after Duresses. And with early game like cards like Spite, March, you actually have a lot of room to just cycle cards, get more draws because you have more life, this kind of stuff. So that helps you recover. We have a lot of very good sweepers with triple Celestus. I've seen once comment about this that, well, 3 Celestus, it's all out. Bro, like the whole point of casting multiple Celestus is that if you have one, that means you can cycle the other ones. There's basically no drawback, especially that it's so easy to cycle with this. Very often your opponent cycles, but if not opponent, it's always daytime when this enters the battlefield, so just pass the turn. I mean, we are doing it anyway, and that means you want 1 Celestus and everyone, that is on top of it gets cycled, so there's no downside. And for some decks, hitting Celestus is insanely important, and this is one of them. This also means we can play things like Brotherhood's End, because if they are not good for the matchup, you cycle them. We can play more than 1 Duress because we can just cycle it. Also, very nice synergy. On turn 3, you play Celestus into instant Duress. This way you don't lose mana. That's really important. And, it makes your next turns insanely powerful, especially that Burn Down the House and the Deadly Cover-Up are activated. So that's why we can directly go from turn 3 to turn 5. And yeah, I honestly was super excited with the deck. It feels great, it feels very powerful, and the gameplay pattern is completely different from Azorius Control. So if you are bored with just, you know, Sunfall, countering spells with 3 steps ahead and Emperor, this is probably the deck for you. Like, I'm really happy with it. So maybe I was lucky, but it really felt fresh and absolutely amazing. So as you see, I once again failed at making a concise outro. Alright, I don't know what to say more. So I'll just say thank you for watching. I'm so happy to see you enjoying, you know, the recent decks. We'll keep making rotation proof builds as well, but for this one, the cards that are rotating are actually very crucial. That's why I went with Rakdos non-rotation proof, because we kinda need Celestus and we kinda need the March. Those were extremely important one. Of course, big score. Oh man, well, better play it for now, because the future Rakdos will be very, very different. So I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching, guys. I absolutely, you know, love sharing those decks with you. If you enjoyed this one, consider, you know, subscribing if you aren't, and liking the video. It really helps. And thank you for that, and see you guys tomorrow.